What's up, guys? And today I'm coming at you with another offensive passing play that will absolutely kill cover two, and you can dink and dunk it against it in other coverages too. This play isn't like absolutely oh my god money play, but if you catch your opponent slipping and cover two without deep blue as middle linebacker, you can really do some damage with this play. So this is one of my favorite formations in the game. Uh, it is the gun tray open, and it's in a ton of playbooks. And the play I'm going to look at is clear out. Now, this formation and play I know for sure is in the Panthers playbook, the Falcons playbook, and probably the the Patriots are the best playbook in the game. That's not the playbook I'm in. I'm in my custom playbook, which was built off of and around the Panthers playbook. So, as you can see, 303 calls. I do call this play quite often. Of course, I do play online regs. You know, I'm not a MUT guru like I was in the past. So, but anyways, we're going to look at the play called clear out. And on defense, we're going to come out in Tampa 2 first. Now, we're going to baseline just because that's what everybody should do online. You can see, obviously, this should be common sense to everybody in the building here. I'm showing both play arts at one time. You see the seam route, that's my favorite route in the game. The seam route in the slot to Rob Gronkowski, that is my favorite route in the game, hands down. And that is what you're going to look to do with this play. Now, you don't have, as far as adjusting the play pre-snap, you don't have to make any adjustments. But like if you absolutely know your opponent's in cover two and you know you can throw this pass, I would block your running back, which is double tap triangle, and then right trigger, double tap triangle and press right trigger, bottom right trigger, where it says pass block, and that goes for PS4 and Xbox One. And then your running back's block, you got extra time to throw. And I'm just going to show you what happens without deep blue in the middle linebacker. What you want to do is lead this pass at an 11 o'clock angle, and I would recommend possession catching it even though there's nobody around you, just to be safe. But I did aggressive catch it right there. Of course, there was nobody on me, so I'm going to run it again just to show y'all. Lead the pass at an 11 o'clock angle. I did possession catch it right there. We're going to run it again just to show you that you can you could rat catch this. This is like a clear rat catch situation. So you can just go ahead and get into the end zone just in case you get a weird animation. But everybody should know that that's what's going to happen when you run Tampa 2. But what if he's like, because all you got to do to stop that is say, all right, deep blue middle linebacker, problem solved, right? Wrong. You have other routes on the field too. So, like, say you pop him with that on the first, like, say you're in this section of the field and on your first drive or opening drive or whatever, and you pull this play out against a heavy Tampa 2 runner, and you just bomb him for a touchdown with that seam route, right? The next drive he's going to be like, okay, I want to deep blue that linebacker so he can't throw that no more. And that is when you can start dinking and dunking your way down the field. And this is where I recommend you leaving White's delayed route on the field, because what you're doing is you're playing mind games with him, because you're like, okay, sometimes I'm going to block him, sometimes I'm not going to block him, just so that he never knows when White's going out for a pass, when your running back's going out for a pass. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason you can dink and dunk is that you have this deep dig route by Edelman, and you have the drag by Hogan. So, and since he's deep blue in the middle linebacker, he's opening up that deep in route even more. So, obviously nobody's going to play hard flats out of Tampa 2. It's just too risky. So you can just dump it down to James White and get your 3 to 5 yards. That is an option. Now, another option, so you have two other options. You can go, I don't know why that linebacker is not following his assignment, but All right, we know that's an option. Okay. Once you hit him a couple times, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna man up somebody. He may man up somebody, do whatever defensive adjustment he feels like he has to do to stop White. Only next time, you block White, and now you got him in a pickle. You see what I'm saying? And then say you block White, because you're probably gonna have to block your running back in order to hit this deep dig route by Edelman. But he's deep blue in his middle linebacker because he's respecting the seam route. So you wait for the dig route to Edelman to open up, and then boom, you got almost the same gain, you know. And you also have I'm gonna block White here. You also have this dig route, this drag route by Chris Hogan. You just have to wait until he passes that linebacker, and boom, you can get your 5 to 10 yards that way. And you can still run this play against cover 3, but just know that you're very limited. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna play, like, say he plays cloud flats, right? You're pretty depending on how good of a team you're going against. Like if you're in Mutt, don't think about looking at that seam route. But we're not going to be able to hit the seam route in this video because Aqib Talib will jump it every time, or sometimes that linebacker will clamp on it. But there is sometimes a window where you can hit the seam route still. You won't be able to hit it for a touchdown, but you see how the safety shoots down to the cloud flat. You got to wait until Gronk passes that hook curl into that little window. You see that little window I'm talking about? Right behind that safety. That's where you can throw it sometimes. But since the Rams are such a good defense, I'm going to show you why that doesn't work. See, like, it doesn't work against the Rams because they're a good team. Now, if you tried it against a team like the Jets or the Raiders maybe, you might could do that. But for this particular video, that's not going to be open because we're going against a good defense here. So, say he's running cover 3 cloud flats, right? Again, you can abuse this route to James White, and he just dropped it for some reason because Madden's weird. We will run it again because Madden is fluky sometimes, and we just have to deal with it. So, like I said, delayed route to James White out of the backfield, and we fumbled that time. Jeez Louise. Well, we will run it again. The computer is making me look really bad right now. But anyway, for the third time, you have the route to James White, right? And that will get you, and if you hit a spin move or something, you could get almost 10 yards off of that. So, other than James White, you could also hit this. Now against cover 3, you can throw this drag route a lot sooner because of the way the defense plays. You see against Tampa 2, we had to wait until he got into the center of the field to throw it. Whereas in cover 3, you can throw it immediately because a hook curl plays way different than a vert hook, if you know my terminology here. So you can hit it right away. Now, Chris Hogan is not like, I mean, he's a white receiver, so he's not going to have the greatest spin move. And the Hogan route and James White is probably the only thing you can hit against cover 3. Just because that's how cover 3 plays. Now, if he does want to play hard flats, you can fit this pass in to Josh Gordon. It's not the greatest C route because I don't know how good of a route runner Josh Gordon is, but I mean depending on what team you're going up against. So we're playing hard flats, and if you lead the pass towards the sideline at a hard 10 o'clock angle, you can fit that pass in there. So you got to know how to pass lead. And that's how you can fit those passes in there. See, we'll run hard flats again, and I'll show you that this is pretty consistent. It's a tight throw, but see, if you lead the pass correctly I mean, you can complete the pass. And just for good measure, we will show this again. You see, lead the pass at a hard angle. And yes, Marcus Peters is right there, but if you possession catch it, as long as you possession catch it, you will be fine. Okay? Don't be trying to ag somebody, okay? Unless you just got like Calvin Johnson on your team if you play MUT. So, and even when you play, nobody's going to play Tampa 2 hard flats. So, I mean, I don't even know why I'm running this again. I guess so I can show you that it's consistent. You see how the DB kind of just doesn't, he just dumbs out, sort of. You know, that's just how the game is. Probably shouldn't be that way, but possession catch, when you trigger a possession catch, it kind of dumbs out certain animations that the defense can get. And again, that's just how the game plays, and on offense you just have to take advantage of that. Now, we will show cover 4, because I know y'all were going to be like, oh, you won't show it against cover 4. Okay, well, we'll show it against cover 4 for you cover 4 bums out there. Let's see, where's the play at? Right here. Now, cover 4, hard flats. You're going to be able to hit that C route. Actually, that C route is naked against cover 4. So most people, when they run cover 4 drop, they'll shade underneath, because shading underneath this year is the only sure way that you can take care of the underneath stuff. And what I mean by that is, like, say you're going to get somebody that runs deep crossing routes and stuff. If you're like, oh, I'm gonna shade up and take that away with cloud flats. Well, it doesn't really take it away. You know, if they lead the pass perfectly, they can fit it in there still. So it's just better to run hard flats at all times, unless your opponent's like on a game-winning drive, and you for sure don't want him to take deep shots. So anyway, we'll show it against cloud flats as well. Now, if he starts playing back, you know, you can dump it off to White, as long as he doesn't fumble. See, there we go. We got 10 yards off, 10 to 13 yards off of that. Shade up again. This time, we're on cover 4. Again, you could throw this route to Hogan, because there's hook curls on the field instead of vert hooks. And again, I don't recommend looking at the Edelman route, because you're going to be sacked by the time that route even develops. So only way you're going to be able to hit Edelman is, say this is his user, right? And he wants to, say he tries to jump that pass to White or something like that. Then, dang it, I didn't click off so that he would actually do his assignment. Hold up. Let me man him up on White. Say he tries to shoot after your running back, right? That's the only way you're going to be able to hit this route to Edelman, because, like, by the time this develops, it's like you're going to have all the time in the world if he's playing cover 4, because he's only rushing 3. So, and if he's in 4-3, obviously he'd be rushing 4, so you have less time. But I just use 3-4 as a base defense to show these plays out of, because it's what I'm comfortable in, and a good amount of people still use it, because I know I do. So anyway, that's the play, and obviously the seam route is not going to work against cover 4, because there's 4 deep. I mean, come on. So, I mean, that's the money play. It's not really it's not like a wow play, but it works for me, and I catch people slipping with it. So, like, when I get to this area of the field, I mean, if I'm using the Panthers or whoever the tight end is, boom, right down the middle for a touchdown. So, I hope you guys enjoyed and that you learned from this little instruction, and I will see you guys in the next tip video. Peace.